One very high-profile restaurateur in Auckland is Leo Molloy. He joins us on the line. Hello, Leo.
Afternoon, boys. How are you all?
Yeah,
Hi.
good. Nice to chat with you. Now, all your staff are fully vaccinated. Is that right, Leo?
Well, we're at low levels with 61 at the moment, but yeah, we've had a fairly robust dialogue over a number of Zooms and a couple of meetings in the flesh, and now everybody's been persuaded. We haven't insisted, certainly haven't mandated it, but we explained to them the consequences if they didn't. That's not the consequences to them as individuals for their health, but what would be left for them in terms of a role within our organisation, which was basically non-customer facing, so a bit of gardening, a bit of cleaning rubbish out the back as rostered. So I think at the end of the day it was a wee bit of a stick and carrot approach, but they all saw a compelling argument that I proposed, and they've all decided to get vaccinated, which has been rather good.
Leo, it's James here. There's a possibility of a vaccination certificate, and the Restaurant Association, apparently a lot of the business owners have said that they were worried about how they would enforce one of those vaccine certificates. How hard would that be? You guys can stop people coming in for almost any reason. What's the problem?
Well, firstly, to deal with the latter part of your question, yes, we can stop anyone we wish apart from a liquor licensing inspector or a policeman, but even rather lightheartedly, I would advise the police that no unvaccinated police will be allowed into HQ.
Okay.
But they lightheartedly replied, don't worry, it's noted. So that's fine. I wasn't entirely tongue-in-cheek when I said it, though, because if we're going to have a policy across customers and staff, it has to extend to the police, and I understand from reliable sources that a lot of police are resisting. I don't know why, but a lot of them are. But anyway, back to the first part of your question. So, Restaurant Association, well, I'm not sure what drives that organisation. I scratch my head a bit with them sometimes. They don't appear to have particularly strong leadership, and I don't think they can mount a compelling argument. But someone just rang me about half an hour ago, a professor actually of epidemiology, whose name I won't mention, and asked if I'd be prepared to sit down with Brian Tamaki. That's Bishop Brian, in case you didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Who's known to me, not a close friend, but certainly known to me.
Mm-hmm.
And would I be try and persuade him to take the vax? Now, that is a big, big challenge because he's very committed to putting his faith in his Lord. And I wouldn't argue with that. That's his own right and privilege. But I would have thought myself that it would be a challenge and I would do it. And particularly if it's in front of a camera with a round table with a couple of good epidemiologists, maybe a good infectious disease expert, someone like myself who can talk a little bit, and Brian and Hannah Tamaki maybe, and see if they'll do it. In fact, vaccinate them at the table. I'd get myself done again. I've already been done twice, but the third one wouldn't worry me.
So you don't have any. You don't put any stock in what the Hospitality Association is saying that they don't support.
No, it's the Restaurant Association.
The Restaurant Association, because they don't support this passport certificate. Do you agree or disagree with that sentiment though? Because this is where I'm coming unstuck, Leo.
I have no faith in that organisation, and I'm a member. But they don't get anything done. They're totally ineffective. But we have systems here. We've got facial recognition technology at the doorway, and we're looking for a way. I just carry my little passport photographed on the phone. We're allowing people, we're setting up a system to allow them to register online before they attend. We're opening for the public tomorrow, in case you didn't know, outside in a picnic situation. Every second table is furnished, and we'll be providing just light refreshments. We're not selling alcohol, and we're not selling food. And I don't want to make this about HQ. I want to stick to the subject, which is vaccinations and your passport technology. But yeah, I think we can do it quite easily. I think if people know that they have to go to an outlet, particularly a high-profile outlet like HQ, and there seems to be a certain momentum, almost a consensus across the industry now that this is inevitable. It's
right.
Inevitable in transport. It's inevitable around the globe. It's happening. So why wouldn't New Zealanders prepare by getting a little copy of something from the Ministry of Health, or like initially when you had your first vaccine done, I got done back in June, they issued you with those little purple certificates.
Yeah.
So you take a simple picture and you present that at the door. I wouldn't think that's too difficult. We're not talking about a lot of people here. We're talking about 50 people in HQ under the current regime, which is about 1/10 of our capacity. So it's not as though you're going to be absolutely flat out trying to check whether people are legitimate or not. And we're putting full-time contracted security on as well to monitor the situation for us and to deal with people who are reluctant to comply. So I don't think it's going to be a particularly difficult obstacle to overcome.
Yeah, interesting. Leo, thank you very much for
cheers,
calling.
Man. Cheers.
Pleasure, boys.
Okay.
Leo Molloy.